Hi everyone. In the last video, we discussed different types of operators. So we discussed about arithmetic operators, assignment operators, and relational operators. So these are the relational operators. And we also completed one example program. And now we discuss some other operators. So the next operators are logical operators. So before going to logical operators, we need to know about AND operation, OR operation, and exclusive OR operation. So because this is a binary number format, you are having two inputs. So what are different possibilities to give two inputs? Four possibilities. 0, 0, you get one output. 0, 1 as input, you get one output. So 1, 0, 1, 1. So four possible inputs you can give to AND gate, OR gate, or XOR gate. So if you give A, B as 0, 0, in AND operation, it will result in 0. See, you clearly observe. So if any one of the input is 0, then the result is 0. To get a output of true or 1, you must have both the values as ones. That means in AND gate, if both are true, then only true. So you can consider this 1 as true and 0 as false. In OR gate, see, if at least one of the input is 1, the output is 1. So 0 or 1, here 1 is there, output is 1. Here 1, so output 1. Both are 1s, output 1. For XOR, if both are equal, then output is 0. That means if 0, 0 is the input, output 0. And 1, 1 is input, then output is 0. If both are different, then you will get an output of 1. That means if at least one of the value is 1 and other is 0, then only you will get 1. So you need to remember these gate values to understand the logical and Boolean operators. Okay. So these are different logical operators. So three logical operators are there. First one is logical AND. So we use the symbol double ampersand symbol. This is called logical AND. And the second one is logical OR. So you use this symbol. Similarly, logical NOT. See here how to use these operators. Generally, we use these logical operators in combination with relational operators. See here, for example, C equal to 5 and D greater than 5. So what is the purpose of this logical operator? C double equal to 5 means here double equal to is a relational operators. Okay. So it checks the value of left hand side and right hand side is equal or not. Similarly, D greater than 5 is also a relational operator. So for example, consider the first one is a true and second one is a false. Now you apply true is 1, false is 0. So 1 and 0. So in the table 1 and 0 is 0. So the output is 0. So in this way, before logical operation and after logical operation, you will get a 0, 0 or 0, 1, 1, 0 or 1, 1. So based on those two values, this output is decided. So finally, the output of logical operation is also nothing but a 0 or 1. In relational operation also 0 or 1. But if you want to apply more than one relation operation in the same equation or in same statement, you will apply this logical operation. And what is the meaning of this logical AND? If both conditions are true, then only the output is true. If at least one of the condition is true, the output is true. And NOT means if you get output of 1, if you put NOT operator, that becomes 0. Similarly, if you got an output of 0, if you put NOT before that, it becomes 1. That means changing true as false and false as true is not. This XOR we will cover in bitwise. So for understanding this logical operators, you need to know this AND and OR truth tables. These are called truth tables. Okay. So what is the purpose of logical AND and logical OR? So generally to combine other conditions. Okay. Here, if both are true, then only the output is true. If at least one of them is true, then the output is true. So here in C language, in the case of true, it will display 1. If the output is false, it will display 0. And logical NOT is, it changes true to false and false to true. So this is a simple example program. So A is equal to 9, B 4, C 30, for example. So A greater than or equal to B is true or false? 9 greater than or equal to 4, true. So this is 1. C less than or equal to B, 30 less than or equal to 4, false. So 0. So this first one is this true and false is 0. So 1 and 0 is, you will go to the table. So 1 and 0 is 0. So you put here the output as 0. Okay. So I am changing the output. So previously that value is stored. Okay. So finally we got an output of 0 because for AND operation, if at least one is 0, output becomes 0. Similarly, A less than B, A is 9 and B is 4. 9 less than 4, false. So this is 0. B less than C, yes, 4 less than 30, true. So 0 or 1. So in OR operation, 0 or 1, you go to see the table. So 0 or 1, output is 1. So here the final answer here is 1. So you need to remember the table. In OR operation, at least 1 is true, the output is true. Similarly, here you observe, see this A less than or equal to B is 0 and B less than C is 1. So 0 and 1 is 0, but there is a not operator before that. So the 0 can be changed as 1. So false can be changed as true. So you evaluate this in the same way, but finally you change the final answer. If it is 0, change to 1. If it is 1, change to 0 if there is a not symbol. So the outputs are 0, 1, 1. So before going to next operators, I will show you the execution part in here. Okay. See this online compiler. So I am removing all this. I will try to simplify the code. So writing simple statements. See, so here A greater than B. So I am directly printing values here. A greater than B, for example, A greater than B. And one more condition I am writing. And for example, B greater than, you need to write one more variable. So int C equal to, for example, 10. Okay. So B less than, for example, 10. See, we are using the variables. So this is my first operation. So first we will try to see the output and later we will discuss the remaining one. Okay. So just run it. Okay, it shows an error because I forgot this close brace. Okay, now run it. See here 1. So why it is 1? A greater than B, that is 9 greater than 4 is true. So this total A greater than B becomes 1. And B greater than C, that is 4 less than 10 is also true. 1 and 1 is 1. So instead of greater than, for example, less than, I am using greater than. So greater than C. Now see, you will get 0. Why? This condition B greater than C, 4 greater than 10 is false. So this is true. 1 and 0 is 0. Okay. Similarly, if you put R condition, okay, I am writing another statement, for example. So instead of and, I am using R, for example. So you can use any operator, A greater than B, B less than, okay, whatever it may be, R equal to C, for example. So now print it. So first one is 0. We already seen that. Second one 1. So why it is 1? A greater than B is true. 9 greater than 4. So it is true or 4 less than or equal to C, true. So true or true is always true in R also. But if you make greater than C also, you will get true output. Why? At least one is true, that is enough. C, A greater than B is true. 9 greater than 4 is true. So even this B greater than C is false, 4 greater than 10, don't worry, because in OR gate, if at least one of them is true, the output is true. Similarly, the not operation also works. For example, printf, I'm using some percentage d slash n. So, okay, I forgot this double quotes, percentage d slash n comma. So I am writing here a greater than, before that I put a not operation, and after that I am start writing a greater than b close or b greater than c. Okay, so I just added a not operator. This is same as above one. You observe a greater than b or b greater than c, but I added a not symbol. So this one becomes 0. Okay, so you can give like this also. For example, percentage d slash n comma, can I give a and b? Can I give like this? Yes, you can give. So what it prints? 1. That means a is 9 and b is 4. So other than 0, any value can be considered as true. So this 9 is considered as true. So it is 1. And this b is considered as true. So 1. 1 and 1 is 1 only. For example, you observe carefully. Int d is equal to 0. I used another variable, int d equal to 0. Now I am writing one more statement. For example, now I am using this d. Okay. Now a and b, I changed it as a and d. Now you will see what is the output. The last statement you observe a and d. D value is 0. So 1 and 0. So it displays 0 in the last statement. Output is 0. So that means the 0 value is considered as false. Other than 0, any value can be considered as true. Actually, a 9 or 4 or 10, 20, 30, whatever it may be, it can be considered as a true value. Okay. So that is about logical operators. Next operators are bitwise operators. So there are more bitwise operators, actually 6 bitwise operators. I'm coming to logical operators, only 3. See, bitwise AND. This is single ampersand is the bitwise AND. If you use double ampersand, that is logical AND. So here, the second operator is bitwise OR. Third one is bitwise complement, bitwise exclusive OR, left shift and right shift. So how this operator works, to understand how this operators works, you need to know how to convert a decimal number to binary and binary to decimal, because this bitwise operator works in a binary format. Even though you give output, for example, see this one, 5 and 1 you have given as input 5 and 1. So 5 is converted into binary. So the binary for 5 is 0, 1, 0, 1. Similarly, 1 in decimal is converted to binary. So it is 0001. So now here, the 4 bits and 4 bits. So the last one and last one you will consider and apply AND operation. Then you get this last one. So the last but one bit here 0, here also 0. So 0 and 0 you apply, you get this bit. Similarly, the third bit 1 and 0. 1 and 0, you will get 0. That is bitwise operation. So you apply the AND operation and OR operation and exclusive OR operation in a bitwise manner. Last bit of A, last bit of B. Last but before last bit in A and B. So you will apply in the bitwise manner. That's why these are called bitwise operations. And R is also same, exclusive OR also same. These three are same, but there is somewhat difference when applying this left shift and right shift. So left shift the bits to left side, and right shift shifts the bits to right side. But before shifting, you convert that into a binary. Okay, I will show some example. Okay, so consider this example. So consider int a is equal to 6, b is equal to 5. So first bitwise R. So simply I used printf a or b. A and B bitwise AND. A cap B, that is exclusive OR. A less than 2. This is left shift operator. A greater than 2. This is the right shift of operator. Just see the previous table. And complement A. These are the 6 operators. Now I will show you how these operators works and how your output is displayed. Okay. So first consider R. So as I told you, write binary for A. So A is 0, 1, 1, 0 and 5. Binary is 0, 1, 0, 1. So I add some 4 bits before. Actually, you observe one thing. Even though I used 4 bits or 8 bits, but actually, if you write int A is equal to 6, 32 bits are allocated because the size of int is 8 bytes. So 8 into 4, 32 bits. That means, so 0, 1, 1, 0. And before that, the remaining bits are all zeros. So total 32 bits memory is allocated for integer. Okay, so the first initial bits are all zeros and the last bits are 0, 1, 1, 0 here. So of course, I consider 8 bits. Before that, some 24 bits are zeros. For 5 also same thing. Okay. Now, as I told you, what is ARB? You consider this 0 and 1, apply 0 or 1, R table. So that is 1. 1 or 0, 1. 1 or 1, 1. 0 or 0, 0. These are all zeros. And you got this value. So triple 1. So you convert this triple 1 into decimal again. So first we converted binary to decimal and after that applied bitwise OR operation and the result triple 1, you convert that into decimal, you will get 7. But here also we are applying OR, but I applied OR in a bitwise manner. That's why this is bitwise operator. Similarly for, so you got 7 here. Similarly for AND. So once again A is 6, B is 5. So bitwise AND. So 0 and 1 is 0. 1 and 0 is 0. 1 and 1 is 1. So all these are zeros, so 0 only. So 1, 0, 0 is 4. So I converted the final binary result into decimal. So you got 4 here. Similarly, exclusive OR. So 0 exclusive OR 1 is 1. So you observe the table, both are 0, then only you will get the 0 value. Otherwise, you will get 1. So 1 exclusive OR 0, 1. 1, 1, 0. So 0, 0, 0. So finally you got 1, 1. So convert that into decimal, that is 3. So just refer the tables in the previous slides, R and exclusive OR. Okay. So these three are simply using those tables only. Okay. So the output here is 3. Okay. So now try to see how the remaining operators work. For example, consider left shift operator. So A is nothing but 6. So first write binary 0, 1, 1, 0. So here see A less than 2. Actually, in the place of 2, you can put any number n. That n indicates number of times left shift. Here A less than 2 means we need to apply left shift 2 times. Okay. So I applied first time A less than 1. So what does it mean? The bits are moved to left side. For example, see here, this one is moved to this position. You observe clearly. This one is moved to this position below. Similarly, this one is moved to this position. So 1, 1, 0 becomes 1, 1, 0, 0. If you move this one to here and this one to here, this 0 to here, right side a blank is there. And in that blank, you put one more 0. So here, one bit is moved to left side. So that's why 1, 1, 0 becomes 1, 1, 0, 0. On the right hand side, one blank is there. If you shift all bits to left side, one time what happens? On the right hand side, one blank is there. So then you will get, okay, you will get 1, 0. I will show you. I will try to show you in paint. Then you may understand some more clearly. Okay, consider this number. What is it? 0, 1, 1, 0. For example, 0, 1, 1, 0. So what I told you, shift these bits to left side. So what does it mean? For example, I am writing a box like this. Okay, so now it is somewhat easy. That's why I'm doing this. So 4 bits now you will consider. So what is that value? 0, 1, 1, 0. So here 0, 1, 1 and 0. Okay, so now if you shift each of the bits to left side, what happens? So I will try to show you. So this 0 actually gone. See here. Now this 1 comes here. So right here 1. And this 1 comes into this box. So this is 1. And this 0 comes here. So that is 0. And finally here one blank is there. In that blank you put 0. Okay, this is happened actually. So 0, 1, 1, 0 becomes 1, 1, 0, 0. So this is left shift one time. If you left shift again, what happens? This one move to the left side. Actually, that's why I used one more box here. See here. So here I used the previous bits also. Previously, some bits are there, 32 bits. So after first time left shift, 1100 you will get. And later one more time I shift, these double ones comes here, 1, 1. So 11000. Okay, in this way, actually 32 bits are there. As I told you, total 32 bits is allocated. So you get this answer. You convert this 11000 into decimal, you get 24. Similarly, the next one, greater than, greater than. Once again, the same story. So consider the value of the binary value of A, but here right shift. That means move this one right side. So 0110 becomes 0011, and the last 0 is gone. In right shift, the bits are moving to right side. So left hand side blank is there, and the left hand side blank you put 0. So after doing this operation second time, so this one is gone. So you observed here in the right shift, some values may be some changed because so in left shift on the left hand side, all are zeros. You shift to left side, left side, left side, up to 32 bits you are having chance. But in right shift, see here, so A greater than 1, you get 1 in the last bit. If you shift one more time to the right, what happens? That bit is going outside. That means, see here, if you consider right shift the same number, what happens? For example, consider the same number and apply right shift. So how you got result? For example, I am removing it and show you. So for the same number, how is right shift? So this 0 comes here, this one comes here, and this one comes here. So left side a blank is there, you put a 0. But you shift it again. For example, if you shift again to right side, what happens? So I will show you what happens. So once again, right shift means here 1, 1 shifted here. Now this 1 is gone. This last one is gone. And this is 1. And this is 0. And this is also 0. One blank is there. In that blank, you put 0. See here, if you shift to right side, so 1, 1 here comes to here, comes to here, that one is gone. So in the right shift, there may be a chance of losing the bits. That's why the answer is changed. Okay. So you got value of 1. Now consider this last operation, complement, bitwise complement. So it is somewhat little bit tricky, but see. So for all these 5 operators, how you apply these operators? So you apply this operation. First, we convert it into binary, and you will get some value. So that binary value is finally converted to decimal. Okay, so binary value is taken, apply our operation, got decimal value, convert it, got binary value, convert into decimal. For end also. So binary for 6, 5, get binary result, convert to decimal. So, but here, the result is somewhat tricky for this bits complement. Okay, I will show you how it works. So try to listen carefully. So first A is equal to 6 because I applied complement to A. So A is equal to 6. So write the binary. So this is the binary value. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay. So I will move this side. Then it is somewhat clear to you. Okay. Okay, see. So now flip the bits. Flipping means nothing but complementing. What is this operator name? Complement. So complement these bits. So all zeros as ones and ones as zero. So 4 zeros, 4 ones, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. So simply it applies this operation only, complement. But what is this value? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. But if you directly convert that into decimal and you will print output, that is not the way. Actually, how it stores is, in all these cases, what happened? You know that finally you got a binary result and then you convert into decimal, but you got a binary result here, and this is a negative number. That means, see here, for example, let us forget about this above part and consider how a negative number is represented in your system. So for example, consider a number -7, how it is represented. For example, consider a positive number 7, how it is stored in system. You convert it to binary, 111 you will got. So 111 is the representation for 7. But how your -7 is represented in your system? So actually for that it uses a 2's complement form. So what is 2's complement form means? For example, if you want to represent -7, consider 7 first. So 7 is some 111, but I considered 8 bits. So I put 5 zeros. So now flip bits. Flipping means changing zeros ones and ones as zeros and add 1. So this is called 2's complement form. That means to get -7 in your system, first you take binary for 7. After that, flip the bits. That is called 1's complement actually. So if you flip the bits, so zeros as ones and zeros, you will get this one and add 1. So this is -7. See, this last one is -7 and this is +7. So here the complement gives the negative value. So this value is -7 in your system. So it displays -7. So that means what happened in 1's complement? So it flipped the bits, or that is 1's complement or flipping bits is nothing but changing zeros to ones and ones to zeros. So the input is 6A. So if you apply 1's complement, what happens? All zeros are changed as ones and ones are changed as zeros. But if you display that value in your system, so don't convert that into directly decimal, because this is a negative representation, 2's complement form actually. So you need to know for which number this is the 2's complement form. In our example, this is nothing but -7 in our system. So how can you know this is -7? So actually, if you give 6 as input, you will get -7. If you give 20, you will get -21. If you give 50, you will get -51. That is the way the number is stored. Okay. So I will try to show you this execution part, bitwise execution part. Or we can also use this code. Simply, I am using this code, the same code, to get the same results. Yes, you can use. Okay. So just run it. Yes. Here the single quotes and double quotes while copying, some disturbance is done. Okay. So I will refresh it before that. Now pasting it. So double quotes you will change. Double quotes you need to change. So the double quotes in the PPT is different from here. So I am changing all the double quotes and execute it. Okay. Now execute. So 7, 4, 3, 24, 1 minus 7. So the same output 7, 4, 3, 24, 1 minus 7. So as I told you, if you give this 6 in the place of 6, I have given 34 and run it. So the last value will get minus 35 as I told you. Because if you take 34 and convert into binary and if you flip bits or complement it, then that is equal to minus 35. So 2's complement form actually. You can give any number. Okay. So if you give 364 minus 365. So the remaining operations, you know how they work. Okay. So this is about bitwise operators. Okay, next operator is bitwise operation. Next operator is conditional operator. So it is also called as ternary operator. And this is the syntax for ternary operator. Why it is called ternary operator? Here there are three operands. See, this operator is question mark and colon. So this is the syntax. Some variable is equal to expression 1, question mark, expression 2, colon, expression 3. So here there are three operands. Expression 1, expression 2, expression 3. So that's why it is called ternary operator. And how it works? So in the place of expression 1, there is a condition generally. If this condition is true, this expression 2 is executed. If this condition is false, expression 3 is executed. Okay, so finally, what does it mean? So here this is a condition. If this is true, this first part is executed. If this condition is false, this second part is executed. So if else, it is equal to if else. If condition is true, some statement is executed. If it is false, another statement is executed. So I will show you example. It is easy. So int a is 9, b is 4, and result is a variable. So result is equal to a greater than b question mark a colon b. So what does it mean? If a greater than b is true, a is evaluated to result. If it is false, b value is evaluated to result. So here 9 greater than 4 is true. So first part it executed. That is the value of a is stored in result. So you will get the value 9. Okay. I will show you the execution also. For example, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 5. Okay. So I am writing some int result, another variable. So result is equal to the condition a greater than b question mark a colon b semicolon. So run it. So after that you print this result value. You don't know which value is allocated. Print that result value, for example. So now we execute. Okay, so I forgot to use in place of printf. So I used another name. Printf double quotes percentage d comma result. So maybe I pressed insert key. Okay, later I will change. Don't worry. Result. So run it. So 10 is printed because 10 greater than 5. So 10 is printed. For example, I make it as 50. So now a greater than by is false. So now 50, that means b. So a greater than b false. So the value of b is stored in the results. So that is printed. Okay. So in this program, the biggest number is printed. Whatever may be the values of a and b, always the biggest number is printed. This is the program for printing largest of the two numbers using conditional operator. Okay. Next, increment and decrement operators. So actually, there are two operators called plus plus and minus minus. These are two are called as increment and decrement operators. So increment operator is plus plus. And what is the purpose of this increment operator? To increment the value by 1. For example, if x equal to 10, if you apply plus plus, it becomes 11. Once again, if you apply, it becomes 12. So the value is incremented by 1 by using this increment operator. But there are two different types of operators for increment again. What are those two? Post increment, pre increment. Okay, this is nothing but you write x plus plus or plus plus x. If you write it as x plus plus, that is called post increment. If you write it as plus plus x, that is called pre-increment. Okay, so there is a difference between the plus plus x and x plus plus. I will explain. And similarly for decrement operator. So decrement operator is minus minus, and its purpose is to reduce the value by 1. And there is once again x minus minus, that is post decrement, and minus minus x pre decrement. Okay, so I will explain with the example programs. So first consider this example program. A is 10, B is 10. So print AB. After that plus plus A minus minus B, print AB. A plus plus B minus minus, print AB. So what is the output of this program? So first A is 10 and B is 10. So if you apply plus plus A means A becomes 11. Minus minus B means B becomes 9. Okay, so it prints 11 and 9. Okay, I will change this. Actually, I changed the values. So 10 and 9. Now, this is 8 and this is 7. Okay. See. So now the AB values are after this statement 10 and 9. So after this first printf, so it is reduced, it is incremented. So in the first case, sorry, you will get 11 here. And this is 12. This is 13. Okay. So in the first statement, if you print the values of AB, you will get 10, 10. After that, if you increment, you will get 11 and 9. Once again, 12 and 8. Actually, the first I printed AB, that's why. Okay, don't worry, I will show you in the direct coding part. So I'm removing everything. So int A is equal to, for example, 10, comma, B is equal to also 10. Okay, so now I'm printing both these values, percentage D space percentage D, okay, slash next line. So in the next line, I want to give another printf line. So print A comma B. So now if you print, what it prints? 10 and 10. Okay, so now A plus plus A, for example, and minus minus B. So once again, print these two values. You observe the output. So 11, 9. Why it is 11, 9? Because A value is incremented to 1, it becomes 11. B value is decremented to 1, it becomes 9. Similarly, in place of plus plus A, if you write A plus plus, for example, and B minus minus, for example, execute it. Once again, you get same result. See, plus plus A or A plus plus. Here what happens? So first A plus plus means 10 to 11. And B minus minus means 10 to 9. Okay. So later I am trying to execute this. Given plus plus A, for example, minus minus B, once again executed. Okay, no need to confuse. Now see the complete output. So initially AB printed as 10, 10. So A plus plus means A becomes 11. B minus minus means B becomes 9. So 10 plus 1, 11, 10 minus 9. So 11, 9. If you print here in the second line, 11, 9. And next, plus plus A minus minus B. Plus plus A means, so the previous value of A is 11. It is incremented to 12. The previous value of B is 10. No, sorry, 9. It is decremented to 8. So 12 and 8. That means here I want to conclude one thing. So here A plus plus and plus plus A works in a similar way, because see, if you observe only A output 10 to 11, 11 to 12. Similarly, B minus minus and minus minus B also works in a similar way in this program, because initially B is 10, you apply B minus minus, it becomes 9, then you apply minus minus B, then it becomes 8. So the A value is incremented, whether it can be a plus plus A or A plus plus, it is incremented. Similarly, if it is a B minus minus or minus minus B, it is decremented. Then what is the difference between this pre-increment and post-increment? Okay, I will explain that in the next program. Okay, see this program. So you observe both the programs carefully. Only one line is different. See what is this programming? A is 10, B, and B is equal to plus plus A. print AB. But here, once again, int A is equal to 10 and B is a variable. B is equal to A plus plus. Here plus plus A and B plus plus. So now see how these programs get output. For example, consider this first part, A is 10, B is equal to plus plus A, and we are printing A and B. This is a pre-increment plus plus A. That means first increment is done, and later if you observe this statement, there are two operations. One is increment, another one is assignment. So pre-increment means first increment and later assignment. So that means first the A value becomes 11 and later that is assigned to B. So A is 11, B is also 11, because first the value of A is incremented to 11. Later that 11 is assigned to B 11. So you get 11, 11 here. But if you consider this one, B is equal to A plus plus means post increment. What is post increment? Post increment means not first increment. First here another operation is done. So here first assignment is done. Later increment is done. So that's why it is post increment. So first assignment means first the value of A. See here, first the value of A is put in B. So assignment means nothing but the value of A already 10 is there. The 10 is first assigned to B. So B value becomes 10. Later A value incremented. Okay, so no need to confuse. First assignment operation is done. That means before increment, assignment is done. So before the value 10 becomes 11, the 10 is already assigned to B. So that's why B value is 10. The first step is here, the below step actually. So B value becomes 10. Later increment is done. That means later A becomes 11. So here the output is 11, 10. So in the first case, it is 11, 11. In the second case, it is 11, 10. If you execute this program, you can easily understand the difference between pre-increment and post-increment. The same case is also applied to decrement operators. Okay. And these are all the complete of operators in your C. Of course, there are some other operators are also there, like special operators. And this AND symbol is used in pointers. It is also called as an address of variable. Similarly, the star is also called an indirection operator. It is also used in pointers. And size of is also a special operator, which gives the size of a variable. And next, some other operators like comma is also considered as operator, parentheses, dot, and arrow symbol. All these are also considered as operators in C. And we will see all these operators later. For example, this dot and arrow are used in structure, star is in pointers, etc. So, but size of you can use. For example, I am removing this everything. So you just use this size of to see how much memory is allocated to your variable. For example, size of A. Okay, so just run it. Okay, so you get warning because of course the output is 4 bytes. You know that the size of integer is 4 bytes, not the value. The value of A is 10. If you give printer percentage the A, it beats, you will get output 10. But size of A. Okay, so why it given warning? So it is stored in a percentage U format actually, unsigned int. Unsigned long int. So it expects LU. So LU. Okay, now you'll get 4. Okay. So that is stored in a long int. That's why it expects LU. So size of A. Similarly, size of B, that is also integer. So you will get same result. Similarly, so I can give a character variable, some char x. Similarly, a float variable, float f, and trying to see the sizes again. So I am adding one slash n here. So printf slash n percentage lu comma size of, for example, x. Similarly, printf /n percentage lu comma size of another variable is f. So now you will see how much memory is allocated. So first one for integer 4 bytes. Second one is character 1 byte and float 4 bytes. And you see always I used LU because I am not displaying the value of variable. For example, float f. So if there is a value in this float, for example, f equal to some 3.4. So I want to display 3.4, then I use percentage f. Similarly, in character also, for example, I stored some capital A. So if I want to display the value of x is A. If I want to display the value of x, I use percentage %C. But here I am displaying the size. That's why. So size of operator always takes this control string or format specifier as percentage value because the size is always number 414 like this. It is not a value. Simply understand in this way. I am not showing the value of B. I am showing the size of B. I am not showing the value of F. I am showing the size of F. I am not showing the value of X. I am showing the size of X. Okay. So that is size of operator. Okay. With this, all the operators are also completed. Thank you.